discuss about unveiling transformative and agricultural land use strategies for guaranteed income boosts. That was the one. And myself and Mr. Lee, who has been the speaker mostly, um, have been the one engaging the audience and our listeners since the beginning. And on the second, called on the agricultural and values. That was the second day. And then the third day, we discussed on maximizing farm efficiency to generate 70% returns in the first year. Okay. And we happen to have Mr. Ian Kandibani on the content on here. And they have our last real episode and been discussing hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dufma. All right. And just like Mr. Nee has been pointing out some of the groundbreaking knowledge and episodes that have unraveled the space of agriculture that many of us are not aware to. We dive into a lot of strategies on how to maximize your land efficiency for incredible return. And also, we discuss certain ways by which we can create solutions to boost crop yields. So today we are going into that into like the nitty-gritty of all that we've been discussing so far, like a culmination of everything. So today, like I mentioned and we said, I mean, everyone has seen the topic that we'll be discussing today. Hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dogma. And let me invite, firstly, let me appreciate everyone who has been a part of this in the beginning of this particular webinar. It's not easy to dedicate maybe 1 hour or 1 hour plus of your time to be here. We appreciate that. We say thank you so much, and we hope that you've gained one or two things. If at all, maybe you just opt in on the call or you were invited by someone to be a part of it. I'm sure that there's one thing that you can point out to that we've been able to gain so far. And today won't be an exception. So let me invite you to just sit back, relax, and welcome Mr. Lee to begin today's topic. Good morning, Mr. Lee.
Yes, thank you, Olaoluwa. Just 1 minute, I'm trying to make tea as not everybody's weather is hot this morning. So, yes, welcome everyone once again to the final day of our 4 days webinar. It's been so long we had something like this. It's feeling strange in the body. It's been a while we actually had a back-to-back series of webinar for more than a day or two. Like the last time, if I should recall, was last year, April, when we had Niger Food Security Conference. That was the last time we had a multiple days webinar like this. But it's been beautiful, right? It's been exceptional. I love what we've done with what we've got. We've shared what we had, and you see, givers never lack. That's a popular thing in Nigeria that I know cut across genders, cut across religious biosphere, and cut across ideologies. Givers never lack. However, I can hear the youth these days saying that givers that don't give with brain would lack. I've started hearing things like that from the youths. Givers that don't give with brain will lack. So I've started saying that, and I've started saying other words like these days, dog that have patience does not eat the fattest bone anymore. If you have the patience, dog doesn't eat the fattest bone anymore. I've started hearing that as well from people, right? And so there are a lot of things changing, right? But the basic thing there is we are giving, and what I've given is not enough to reduce me. Instead, it's likely to increase me because if you guys decide that, oh yes, if you guys decide that yes, kindly let us build something great together, right? Then you what I've said had increased me. What about if one person from our core right now, LinkedIn, was opportune enough to know have the contact of the president of Nigeria, and the president one day say, ah, hey guy, looking at how we could change the future of Nigeria in terms of agriculture, and then this person decided to drop a hint about something I pointed out in one of my calls, right, based on what I know, and then the president was like, oh yeah, yeah, I like this concept, I like this concept. This concept is good. Can we implement it? Because the person got the concept from us, he could say, oh, Mr. Nee or Dufma, can you guys work alongside me? Let's implement this thing together. Before you know, we are together on the project. Now, what I've communicated or I've passed across has increased me, right? So in my own case and in Dofma's own case, and definitely Olaoluwa's case, what we are giving out is only going to enrich us. It's not going to reduce us. So givers don't lack. Givers gain more. And that's the concept. Thank you everyone so much for being here. We appreciate your time, your commitment, your dependency, your devotion. We literally appreciate it all. And we don't take them for granted. And when I mean that, I literally mean that to the letters. Yes, we appreciate all of that. We appreciate all your time, appreciate all your efforts, your commitments, your relevance, your doggedness to see it through with us. We are very, very grateful. Now, if you are on our LinkedIn call right now, of course, you would like you to introduce yourself so we get to know who we are dealing with. If not, that's fine. Also, you'll be happy to know that all the day one to day three sessions have been recorded, and you can literally see their video like this one you're seeing right now. And if you're not a video kind of person, beautiful, do not worry, because the audio version is equally available, and you can always just plug in those hands free, and then be lost in learning, right? Be lost into learning how to build a future with agriculture. Of course, the link to that we provided in the website will be shared across our WhatsApp group. And before you know it, you're already enabled, right? With so much knowledge, So that's that basically. So if you're on our LinkedIn live right now, I would appreciate if you could literally just drop your name, introduce yourself, and we'll be happy to acknowledge your press with us as much as possible. So I'll thank you so much. So thank you for coming to once again. Today we're not very topic. Yes. Hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dufma, right? So now we know your future has a lot of blessings attached to it, right? We know that we are not, how will I call it? We are ignorant. No, that's one thing that is right guaranteed that your future is considerable amount of success, considerable amount of prosperity, considerable amount of opportunity, something we don't take for granted. We are fairly certain about it. Now, how do you now do that or achieve that goal with us in in the background with you? That is what today is all about, right? How do we help you achieve that? And you know that your success in agriculture would not be, it's nothing, it's not the only this is good for everyone. It's not all for it. First, the morning is just the right temperature for a tea. So, and that's what we're doing. Thank you so much for allowing me to take my tip. Because if you say I should not take my tea, I would actually keep that tip to myself. So, back to what we're discussing. Hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dofma. Yes, with us, right, we can help you cut out certain inconsistencies that is often the cause for failures in farm businesses. We are all about supercharging productivity every way we can, right? Ensuring that we look at things that a lot of farmers don't have time to pay deep attention to. We look at the markets, we look at the planning, we look at the staffing, we look at all the nitty-gritty ingredients that matters to the overall success of a farm. Why you everybody go to a farm with the knowledge to dedicate their time, dedicate their strength, and ensure that things work out? Yes, people have this whole plan going on for them. But a lot of the time, the part where a lot of people don't know how to give all their time to is where we come in, right? We actually make sure that we put those things in place for you, helping you to think one step ahead, one step forward, to ensure that, of course, why would we be a partner if we are not able, right, to help you think right? So that is what we are going to. And some highlights that is very important that you take note we'll be talking about today is practical strategies for sustainable growth, right? There are strategies, there are methodologies, there are step-by-step processes that you must understand to build a sustainable growth-oriented business, agribusiness. Because if you don't, come on, right? You may do first year succeed, second year fail, and the third year black out of this insect altogether. Now that is not sustainable growth. Sustainable growth is how it looks like. First year you do 1 plot, second year you do 2 plots, third year you do 3 plots, fourth year you do 10 plots, fifth year you do 10 acres, sixth year you do 10 hectares, seventh year you're already doing 100 hectares. Like, and then before you know, in 10 years you're already looking at 1,000 hectares worth of operation. That is a sustainable growth. You started from somewhere and you gradually upended it till you got to the top part as much as possible. Here we go, better just. All right. So basically, yeah. Sorry, I just had to quickly confirm something there. Um, Nonetheless, the second thing we're going to be looking at is discover the key for long-term success. Long-term success is not coincidental. There's nothing accidental about succeeding in the agricultural sector. There's nothing absolutely accidental about succeeding in the agricultural sector. Everything that is done in the agricultural sector comes at a pre-planned system. People that don't have that solid plan often crashes out of the sector. It's not a matter of time, but they crash out of the sector. They don't stay there for too long. And to avoid that is why we'll be teaching you the key to long-term success. Right? The third thing we'll be looking at is how to explore innovative solution for a prosperous future. So you can see that everything we're discussing right now is future oriented, right? And it works in line with the topic that says hello to sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dufma. It's all future oriented. We've given you how to handle the present, how to make sure that the past is well sorted, and now we're giving you all the tools to how to create a very viable future in agriculture. So now, without any much delay, right? Let me engage my co-hosts like I did yesterday. I'm always engaging them because it's a win-win case study. Olaoluwa, yes. When you think about agriculture, you can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, I can.
Yes. When you think about agriculture and what we currently do, and then you see the lack that we currently are experiencing, the lack in raw material, food, and all that we're experiencing. What do you think the future of agriculture have to look like, or what does it have to look like for us to literally have sufficient food in this country, and that we don't have to now worry about the fact that food is scarce? Because scarcity of food is why the price is high. If the food is always ready and abundant, it won't be high. It will have the right market price, which will not be called inflation. It will just be called, oh, the price of food is good. There's no inflation. Your inflation will be dancing around 2 to 10%. That does not mean that that's not your food being expensive. That's your food being rightly priced. But right now, food inflation is around, food inflation is around 40%, right? Now, if you want to think about a future of agriculture that would ensure that we are well catered for in this country, what do you see agriculture becoming in the future to avoid food scarcity that leads to food inflation? You got that question? You got it right?
Uh, yes, I think I have an idea.
You did,
Well,
if you didn't get it, I could rephrase the question in a more shorter way or stuff.
so I think if I go to you rightly, you said that what can we do to reduce the food scarcity?
Not,
And
not just
what
what we could do per se, right? So that's why I said I could rephrase it. Now, what does the agriculture of the future needs to look like if we reduce food scarcity that leads to food inflation? Because it's because food is scarce that there is inflation of that same food, right? And there's also high food waste,
okay,
but that's a topic for another day. But what I'm saying is,
okay,
if agriculture is going to be, if food is going to be available in a very very logical way, right? What does the
yeah.
agriculture of the future, what would it look like? So I want to hear your own mind on it. What do you think it has to look like for food to be abundant and available? Food availability will be sustainable. What would that agriculture of the
I
future
think
looks like?
okay. So I think there are many factors to it that we can consider. Firstly, I would say that investment in smallholder farmers, investment in farmers, and this is speaking from the point where many of the world's food supplies come from most of these smallholder farms. I mean, low-scale farmers, and providing them with access to pricing, land, finance, training, infrastructure, and even markets. It can help unlock many untapped potential that agriculture can see as a breakthrough towards ensuring um, food, food, um, food is available, and also the way by which agriculture can contribute towards food shortage or food scarcity, as it may seem. And another thing now is reduce food wastage. You mentioned that up to 40% of food produced globally ends up being wasted. So improving things like storage, transportation, processing, and even the educating the consumers, it can help in getting more of the food we produce to people, I mean to their plates. uh And maybe sustainable farm practices too. That is also an option that we might need to consider. And things like crop rotation, all those topics that we usually deal with. I mean, the ones that we really go into in agric. Many people, some people might not be so conscious or aware about sustainable farming practices like crop rotation, urban cropping, all those integrated pest management. So things like this, they can help boost you over long term, and they reduce the need for costly inputs that make and they all make the system more, at least, is it resilient. So those are the things that I can say as regards how we can reduce the effect of food wastage and also boost one future thing that agriculture can use in surviving, at least this present food crisis and everything that is ravaging the country and also the global space.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Olaoluwa, for your insight there. So I always enjoy bringing in other thoughts into what expectations could look like. But before I comment on the things you said so far, I want to acknowledge that we have audiences on our WhatsApp platform, and I want to take time to welcome them and acknowledge their presence with us as we appreciate every minute of the day that they spend on the call with us. So, of course, I have my colleagues, Blake, Kemi, and Gracie, and just love. We are colleagues with us as well to ensure that it should be together. But then also I get members as well. We do their name, so I will bring this for the journalists to join them. So, we have audience within a number ending 0888. Thank you so much for your time on the call. We are so grateful you chose to be here with us, to learn with us, and to reason with us as well about a future that's sustainable and where you can grow your own portfolio in. Thanks so much for your time on this call. We equally have number ending 4419. We are so grateful, sir, to have you on this call with us. We are grateful that you spend this time out of considerable thought towards what we are saying and towards what we are about to do on this call. And so we are grateful for your time, and we hope that you get the best out of today's session. Also, lastly, I'll be introducing a participant whose number is ending with 6883. Thank you so much for your time on this call. We are very grateful to have you present with us at this time, and we hope you get as much as we can give, and then of course do wonders with it. So with that, thank you so much, everybody. If you've got questions in between the sessions and you're not sure you can wait till the end, you could quickly go on LinkedIn. Our link is wherever you got the link to this WhatsApp. The link to the LinkedIn session is there. You could easily just go to comment section on that link and write questions. We'll take it and we'll answer it this session. We are like streaming from stream, and it's a recorded system. Everything that's right now is totally there. You can have to eventually start session. Also, what that also means is that all our sessions for the past 4 days, for the past 3 days, you can also have access to them by just going to our website, www.dufma.ng/webinars. The webinars have an S behind it. Once you go there, you'll see an archive of all the webinars we've had so far this year, and you can listen at your own volition. Some of them have possibility for video watching, while some have possibility for audio listening. And then the past 3 days, it has been wonderful. We've had over 60 to 70 people attend all the webinars, and it's been explosion-wise impactful, right? And I won't lie, you would gain a whole lot from it. and we hope that we can also gain a whole lot by working with you in the future. So with that said, drop your questions on LinkedIn. We'll answer them into the live call in case you can't wait to the end. And if you can wait to the end, we'll give out room for you to unmute and ask your questions. Now, with that stated, those on LinkedIn as well, we would like to appreciate you for being present. We would like you to in the comment section introduce yourself so we can equally acknowledge you like we're acknowledging our WhatsApp participants. Now, with that stated, over back to you, Olaoluwa. Thank you so much for your addition there. So for me, this is how I see it, right? And I have to be honest, Olaoluwa. The future of agriculture I see is a bit different, although we still end with the same thing you're seeing, but it's a bit different. I see a future of agriculture where many young people and many people with resources, right, will come into the space and transform the space from a predominant ideology of small scale older farmer or small older farmer oriented landscape to a large or medium farm older system, right? Or medium older farm landscape system. That's what I'm seeing in the future, because over time, each time we keep going through what Nigeria is currently going through right now, is each time we will see the importance and the super need for food production. Example, this year now, there's been a record increase of people whose interests are geared into agriculture. Of course, some of them are in agriculture because of the possible money they think they can make. Some are there because if I'm not even going to produce for everybody, let me just at least produce for myself and sell whatever extra I've got. Some people are there because of, no, there's a business opportunity in this sector and I want to explore it. How can everybody be going hungry and I won't get anything? So I see a lot of room for medium holders and large holder participants to play in the agricultural space. I see that possibility coming alive, right? And that possibility is what I see for the future. I also see a lot of people bringing out concrete investments into the sector to ensure that there's a lot of food production going on. And when that time comes, right, I also see that there will be new stakeholders. Tractorization and mechanization will become very prominent for us. And therefore, government is going to create policies that will make purchase and lease to purchase of this equipment easier. So I see a future where there will be a lot of pronounced activity. I came across a post. They said India took 1,000 years to rise. I saw that content. It was not about early this week. I saw it that India is 1,000 years to rise. And when I saw it, it was very intriguing. 1,000 years to rise. Then I went to read that content. I realized that India has a very, very old heritage, right? So they have their existence dating back to over 1,000 years ago. And in that 1,000 years ago, they've largely been an impoverished state, right? They've largely been a poverty-stricken state. For Kerala, they were even the poverty capital of the world for Nigeria decided to come and relieve them of that duty, right? And take it upon themselves to take that new position up. But India was the poverty capital of the world at some point, right? So, and they've had almost, out of that 1,000 years, almost 900 out of that years was for an impoverished level, right? And so right now, they are they are one of the fastest growing economy in the world. They are even now tagged a digital economy, a all-round digital economy across pharmaceutical, manufacturing, and many other things, right? They didn't get there over one day, and they say it took them 1,000 years to get there. Right now, India is among the biggest producers of 2 or 3%, also 2 or 3 out of every 5 staple crop in the world, right? So we have some crop that we call staple crop in the world, right? Not Nigeria have their own, but it differs country to country. While some people's country it is rice, wheat, millets, sorghum, and maybe cowpea. In some other country, it could be lentil, corn, rice, and other things. So each country has a bit. It differs from each country to each country. But what they are saying is, if you pick out the random top 5 in the world, India is one of the global producer of 2 to 3 out of every 5 major staple crop in the world. That's a level of food security that you don't get to hear every day, and India was able to achieve it. Now, one of the things you need to know also is that I saw that content about last month that was raising an alarm that India is over exploiting the underground water, right? Why? Because solar irrigation pump is now one of the most affordable products to get. Now, it's not as if it's cheap, but there's just so much incentives and policy that make it so accessible to every farmer that is willing to have it, right? You can get it today with even as low as whatever value they can tell you, the rest you pay it over time. Like many people ask that offering, like so much people are giving that offer out to the point where almost every farm now is sucking water from the underground to keep all year round farm active. Now, if you notice something, as at early last month of April, a newspaper write-up came out where Nigeria is considering policies to subsidize solar pump in some states. Now, if you read that publication, what you will see is that future that I'm talking about is closer than you can imagine, right? We talked about a future of food security, but of course, just like you said as well, and as I've echoed initially, production is not the only reason why there's lack of food. There's high volume of wastage, right? And to be honest, it is not 40% of food that is produced globally that is wasted. Some people actually argue that 60% of the food that is produced goes to waste, right? And of course, you can see a lot of players rising to salvage that waste system so that they can reduce that waste issues, right? Instead of allowing it to waste, convert it to ethanol, convert it to other things, right? And you can see different waste system coming up. Agriculture alone account for a global waste that is astronomical, right? So of course the future is not just about the policies and processes to improve production, but also policies and methods to reduce wastage. Those two work hand in hand to ensure that food security and food sustainability is something that we can literally talk about. So the future of agriculture is very bright. I won't lie to you. I see a lot of medium order and large order farmer playing in the space and changing the status quo of the space. Now, with that stated, generally, I'm glad we were able to branch and set out a foundational block in that space. Now, let's come back to the fundamentals. Hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success for us. Now, why can Dufma be of any help at all? As I said, we focus on critical things a lot of farm owners don't focus on. As I said, we focus on how to build people for market ready approach, right? And most of this happen even before the whole planting even commence, right? Market ready approach, where your market is how you're being driven, right? Now that is one. Two, we equally help farm owners in the staffing management system, like how to manage the staffing parts. Of course, we are not always going to say we are the best in many things, but we are trying our best to be among the best in everything we offer, right? To ensure that farmers don't have those challenges. Now, outside that as well, we are also very involved in the planning stage of many farms. Many farms, we actually are responsible in their planning phase as well, right? We have several documents. We have what we call the Petred and all those things that allows farms to put feasibility in their front, in their eye. They are able to look at the feasibilities and plan based on these feasibilities and not use how I call a magic metric in their mind to look at into the future. No, you look at it with as much accuracy as possible. Even with that level of accuracy, there's still glitches. Not talk about fantastic kind of metric in the mind. It just doesn't work. So we are there. And for those that of course don't want to get involved all the way, of course we give out free farmland lease. We are about launching 100 acres of free farmland lease in Ogwan or your states by Monday. Which we know that by the time we bring it out, a lot of people will jump on it. Like, now everybody wants that free farmland list where the land problem getting to come on the stuff. You don't have to worry about land is available, just come and do what you have to do. And I understand a lot of people were enjoying that, but that will be ready. We'll be launching that on Monday to people, right? And outside that as well, for those that want to buy land, we have different lands from our estates that we sell to them. Now, for those that don't even know how to manage it, we ask them, what parts don't you know how to manage? Let us know. We come into it. So our own at the end of the day is not to force ourselves to take all your activities in the business. No, we will listen to you and hear to what extent do you need people to work alongside with you, right? If it's throughout the process, we work alongside you throughout the process. Mind you, I'm using the word work along. We don't work entirely for. Anybody you solely outsource all your responsibility to, you're giving that person capabilities to cheat you, to run away with your money, or to do a lot of things to you. But if you work alongside, right, even if there are challenges, you'll be aware. And it doesn't happen outside you. And it won't be a case of running with your money or cheating you. So we usually work alongside farmers to the degree to which they want us to work alongside with them. We plan, we strategize, we create market pathway and trust us. I think I would say this for just references being recorded. A lot of farmers try to manage users, and when I sit I laugh. You this like fake would have just helped to an example. Of course, we don't shun this, we don't put names. We just explain because our practice just as born and of course on the call with disclaimer because of course it takes what you can do in life. However, you have to learn from them, and some of our clients have learned from that mistake, and they are now better people for it. But of course, people have come with the mind to use us. We don't charge money. We don't charge money in the beginning. We usually don't charge client money in the beginning. So when we actually bring them in and tell them that the first 2, 3 months, 4 months, we just want to achieve result with you, that's not the goal. The goal is usually at the end of the harvest. That's what we usually are interested in, not in the beginning. They try to take advantage of those periods to now overwork us. And we usually bring our indemnity. We started with the mind to do only a single thing. But because you're getting our service apparently looking like for free, next thing you want to do 4 products, you want to do 5 products, you want to expand it, and those things are not part of the terms and condition. When we notice that, we focus on what we agree on and leave it to the one we've not agreed on, right? So that you don't stretch our capacity because we happen to look like the nice guys. Nice is not business, and we understand that business is why we are surviving in 9 years. These are 9th year in the sector, and if we've not understood business very well, we would have crashed out. God knows so many people that started genuinely have crashed out. We know so much. It's more like a death that is recurrent. Just like walking in the park and seeing several dead people. That's how we've seen so much people die out of agriculture as a career pathway, right? And so we don't get confused in the system. We try our best to focus on our focus, which is the business of agriculture. And except people are having testimony through us, then we can't keep growing. And that's what the issue is. But back to it. Now, the first thing is practical strategy for sustainable growth, right? Before we go into that subtopic, let me acknowledge some new audience that joined us while I was ranting about what I think I know. So basically, we had one of our old participants that joined us yesterday, number ending 1428. Welcome, sir. We appreciate you for joining us again today. We are so grateful for your time, and we hope today we'll be able to impact something concrete to you again today. Thank you so much for your time. We also have another participant whose number ends, the last 4 digits end with 6776. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us today. We are so grateful to have you, and we hope that we will be able to impact something meaningful to you and add to you. We don't take your time for granted, and we know it matters to you being present here today. Thank you so much. Now, to our LinkedIn audience as well, you just joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful. It excites everyone that a recording of all our sessions are live on our website, and there are video options so you can watch them. And if you're waiting for the audio session, you'll be glad to know that come Sunday morning, all audio sessions from the 4 days webinars will be available on our website as well. You don't know what the website is? Just go online and put dufma.ng/webinars. Let the webinars have a hash at the back. It's very, very important. And you go to the archive part of the website, you'll see the 4 days webinar. You don't have to miss a single thing. You have a question afterwards, just come back to us. We have several groups you could use, or you could even go to the comment section of the LinkedIn and leave those comments there on the days that are specific. Or you could call us using our company line, or just us on WhatsApp using 080 222 53674 on WhatsApp. You can leave us a message there, we'll answer. Thank you so much. Back to what we are discussing. Yes, practical strategies for sustainable growth. Now, what are the practical strategies you can take, right? From us, right, with our years of experience, this is what we can say. If you want to keep a sustainable growth, as in I pointed out yesterday, sadly it's not yet today, but as I pointed out yesterday, sustainable growth is about you understanding your capacity and not flaunting it. There's a reason why you have a capacity, don't flaunt it. You can't afford to flaunt it. If your capacity for the first year is 1 plot, please do 1 plot. This is something will shock you that many people that don't understand the agriculture sector, like 70% of the people that go into the agriculture sector that don't understand the sector for they enter, often don't make profits in the first year. And it's a sad news, but I have to let you guys know. When we tell you that people can make 100% guaranteed profits or 70% guaranteed revenue, we're not talking about newbies. That's not people we're talking about. We're talking about people that have an encounter with the sector, understand how the modalities of sector works, and knows how to tweak the sector to their advantage. Those are people that actually make 70% return, 100% guaranteed profits from their business in the first year or in 1 year. Newbies, 70% of newbies don't actually make profits in the first year, right? Because they eventually either they overdo or underdo certain things that lead to that, right? If you say a newbie that is making even as much as 20-30% return in the first year, a newbie that don't know anything about agriculture but came into it for the first year and made 20-30%, kindly pay attention. I can promise you that out of that 30% that even made certain level of returns, almost 25%, even over 29% of them actually had an expert that has been in the sector for 4, 5 or more years before them. Those are the only ways those newbies are able to actually make such revenue. But if you don't have established consultants, partners or mentors that is guiding you step by step on it, and you just want to go at it yourself, discover the process yourself and make it work yourself, I guarantee you 99% of people that have that thought eventually would make a loss in the first year. But this is where beauty is. That first year does not mean you crash out. That's why I tell people, if you know you're a newbie in the system, please do not be in haste to start 30 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, because that is not your part. If you know you're a newbie and you want to go at it alone, let's look at it. What do you want to produce first? Let's start with that. Now, I want to produce maize. In that case, please stick to 1 or 2 acres. Don't go beyond that. Why? I have up to 1.5 million I can expend. And I have 1.5 million do more than 2 acres or 1 acre. Quite alright. Rightly so. Yes, it can do up to 5 acres if you know how to do your budget very well. 1.5 will do you 5 or more acres. Yes. If you know how to do your budget very well, it will work for you. However, you don't yet have the capacity to imagine what could happen in between the management processes or the operational processes. Because farming is divided into 3 major periods: pre-planting period, planting period, and post-planting period. It's a basic knowledge for men that study agriculture. Even if you study agriculture just to secondary level, those 3 things are fundamental knowledge that anybody will know. So it means that the pre-planting period is not the main problem, right? It's the planting period and the post-planting that is the major issues. Pre-planting could easily be achieved by even talking to people that, for example, you rent a land or you lease a land somewhere and there are other farmers in that place. You can easily get a hold of pre-planting operations by just talking to them, and they will help you on it. What they will never be able to fully help you on is the planting period and the post-planting period. Those parts usually require technicalities that they may not have time because they'll be busy focusing on their farm, and you just have to have your own. The major problem people have in the pre-planting period is the budget allocation issues. Usually because they don't understand how the system works, they spend way too much, because the biggest money you're spending is largely in the pre-planting period. You spend almost 60% of your budget, 40-60% of your budget in the pre-planting period. That is where you spend the most. The planting and post-planting usually is 30-40% of your budget is what you spend in those periods, right? So normally, since you're going to spend so much in the pre-planting, if you don't understand how much you should reserve for it, you would have spent so much of your money in the pre-planting, which will eventually ensure that the margin you're getting at the end of the day is not worth it, and then you're making a loss. But when you start with something as simple as 2 acres of land or 1 acre of land, then you start looking at, even if you have challenges in the first year, you will learn better, you will know more, you understand where the challenges are coming from, and before you know, you'll be able to curb it. And then you can improve better in the second year or the subsequent year. But when you go too high, being a newbie that doesn't understand how the sector work, if you have a fall, that fall will be a very, very significant fall. And that's not something we usually advise people, because if 100 newbie goes into farming business and they don't recuperate good revenue, the next year, after that 100 newbie, maybe only 10 will come back. We don't want that. That's why food is scarce in Nigeria. But if we can help that 100 newbie not go into a loss, if you're not going to make profit, don't make a loss. That's 1. 2, we help this 100 newbie also manage and understand why whatever they experience happened to them. That's 2. 3, we also give them a post or farm application system that helps them become better equipped for more, right? What about if the first cycle they have issues, but the second cycle that same year it was a better outcome? What about we help them on that? That ensures that in the second year the newbies would not drop that much. 100 come in the first year, maybe second year 80 is available. That's something that we'll be looking at. That's something we'll be happy about, right? And that's why these things are here. So the strategies for sustainable growth is to ensure that do not take more than you can chew. Do not buy more than you can chew in the beginning. It's no good for you. It's not good for us. It's not good for the country. It's not good for food security. Make sure that if you're a newbie, start small, right? If you're going for maize, 1 plot is enough. You're going for cassava, if you're going for maize, 1 acre is enough. You're going for cassava, 1 acre is enough. You're going for vegetables, 1 plot is enough. You're going for tomato and pepper, 1 plot is enough. Start from that level, right? It is equally sustainable to start there. Then after the first cycle, you can now decide, okay, I want to expand this. And if you think the first cycle will take too long and you don't want that to affect you, it's simple. You could actually start, if it's vegetables, you could do the first 5 months and see what the outcome looks like for the first 5 months. If the outcome is looking good, beautiful, then you can now expand a second portion and say, okay, since the first 1 plot is looking okay, let me use the second part of it. Like, let's have 2 plots and start looking at what 2 plots could be for us. And this is how you can literally grow steadily, cautiously, and sustainably, right? So this is a strategy you could use. So another strategy you could look into, I want to say two, but I think this will be three. Another strategy you could use as a farmer that would help you that will help you make long-term profit in the agriculture sector is to understand that everybody is out to rip you off. I'm not lying. It's better you have that mind than not have it at all. The country is so hard right now that even everybody, even we also want to rip you off. We just want to rip you off in a way that you're enjoying as well, right? We want to rip you off in a way that you come back and give us a review. That's the truth. So I won't say that we don't try to rip you off. We want to rip you off logically, in a sane way, that you come back one day and give us a good review that, oh, we encountered a company called Dufma in 2024, and looking back at our arrangement so far, rocky may be in the beginning, but eventually we achieve certain results together. Yes, that is, but not everybody has that. Some people are there that actually have that same mind as well, but I won't lie to you, not everybody have that mind. Some people's mind are more tilted towards just getting things from you and leaving you high and dry. I can say that because, as I said, this is the 90th year in the sector, and I've seen a whole lot. We ourselves have been taken advantage of. We've been, even by clients, we've been taken advantage of. I said something earlier when I started the call. I said some of our clients come into an agreement with us, hoping because we don't charge money in the beginning, they think that they can rip us off. At the end of the day, it always backfire on them. And because of their too much smartness, they get to be the one to lose eventually. And these are things that are there. It's just that over time we've gotten better at not being deceived. It's not easy to deceive us anymore, as we've gotten better at not being deceived. So those are things that are there basically. But nonetheless, you have to be wary that everybody's out to rip you somehow, one way or the other. And you have to guard yourself. Now, guard yourself, yeah, you can't overdo, you can't underdo it. It means that every time you think you need more information, ask. It doesn't matter who you're dealing with, ask. Whenever you need more information, ask. It might not come fast, but always ask nonetheless, right? 2, do not stop researching. Things you could do to ensure that you are not ripped off. Always keep researching, right? Take a leap of faith and research about things. Pricing models, research that. Operational processes, research that. If you think that you read something about maize farm that would improve your maize yield, but the person you're working with has not advised it, oh, how about we look into it like this, right? The person, oh, I don't think it's going to work, or it will not work. I'm just asking. I just want to know what are the other alternatives to making this work the way we want it to work, right? So you have to research more, think or work on pricing margin. You also have to be knowledgeable about what the terrain is. Also, your market, don't leave it to anybody. Also be involved in your market processes. These are ways that you will not be ripped off. If you don't have all of this, I guarantee you there are ingredients for rip off going on already. So that's one. Now, the second point that we itemized under the topic is discover the key to long-term success, right? What is the key to long-term success? I will tell you it is two things. It boils down to two words. There are many words there, doggedness, patience, and everything. But those things are all part of the ingredients. But the two core words I want you to have right now as the fundamental is resilience, right? Resilience. I want you to believe that resilience is there, and then you have to be long-suffering. And that's true, right? You have to be resilient and you have to be long-suffering. Because eventually in the agriculture sector, your long-suffering mind will help your foresight. If you've got a vision that you've told yourself that you want to achieve, like I have a vision, and that vision is to do this and this and that. Now you have to prepare for long suffering because there are many things that tries to cripple a vision. Year 1 may be profitable, year 2 may be challenging. Year 1 may be challenging, year 2 may be profitable. That doesn't mean, because year 2 is profitable does not mean that year 4 will not give you some challenges, right? It comes every day. Challenge is thrown at you every day. But long suffering will keep you straight. Being resilient and long suffering will keep you straight. For example, the CEO of Nvidia, like Vidya, yes, but it's spelled Nvidia. Yes, the CEO of one of the biggest AI AI intelligence chip generating company in the world, right, was addressing Stanford University students or graduates, right, of last year and this year. And in one of the contents or ideology gave to them was suffering and challenges built into who he became. And when he said if there's any one word he can give to them, is that he hopes that pain and suffering happens to them all. That was a single thing he wished for all of them. He told them that it can't be taught to somebody. There's no way anybody can teach or impart it to you. He just hopes that, he wished that pain and suffering happen to them all, because it is in the midst of pain and suffering that the true version of themselves are being generated. It's either you crash out during those periods, or you survive and become stronger version of yourself, right? And this is someone that is working in the tech sector where the potential for growth and profitability is astronomical, and that is what his experience is. Now, how much more with someone in the agricultural sector that is working with nature in hand to hand. So at the end of the day, I will tell you that long suffering and resilience is what the last boiled down ingredient is when it comes to long term success, right? Once you have that, then we can start talking about budget management, financial management, or we can start talking about every other ingredient. But those two things are the first thing that must be prepared in the mind of those going into the sector. Now, the last thing we'll be looking at, because today I'm so determined I won't exceed our 1 hour margin. The last thing I'm looking at today is explore innovative solution for a prosperous future. Explore innovative solution for prosperous future. This brings back to our topic on our second day. The second day webinar, we talked about cutting edge solutions, right? Cutting edge solutions. Or was it even yesterday we talked about cutting edge solutions? Now, we need to always have your ears to the ground or to the wall, depending on which one you prefer. But your ears have to always be close to the ground or to the wall for you to have access to new things that can change the outcome of your future, particularly as that's to do with agricultural businesses. You have to have your ear close to the wall or to the ground so that you can quickly implement any new ideology, new concepts that can change the game of your business for you, particularly in the agricultural sector. So you have to explore those innovative solutions. Now, people say, last year they said that the best products that they are producing right now is wild melon. Egusi is the one that is making money. I went there and that was when I lose money. That is not what I'm talking about. Now, if truly you add that a particular product is in high demand, for example, it's not rocket science that we know maize, corn, things like wheat are in high demand, right? It's not so that we know those things are happening. But at the end of the day, right, what we are looking at is this. How about instead of using the whole land you have for it, why don't you experiment half acre, 3 plots, or 1 acre to manage those new ideologies? So you don't put all your eggs in one basket or jump into it. That's an innovative way to approach something you've had, right? If it now works, now you cannot get better, because what a lot of people don't know is when they say the sun is shining on the right side, everybody moves to the right side. When they say the sun is shining on the left side, everybody moves to the left side. Before you know, that place that sun is shining now get overcrowded. Or if they say that the nutrient is available on the right side, everybody goes to the right side. By the time you get there, because of the crowd, the nutrient become insufficient. Something that was sufficient enough will look insufficient, and that's how the world works. So if they tell you that something is good on this side, cautiously approach that place and don't throw your eggs into it. And that's what a lot of people do in the agricultural sector. So you have to look for innovative step-by-step approach, not to have challenges, and build yourself strong. And I always tell people in the agricultural sector, I say the benefit of sticking to one particular product that you've researched to have a future and prospects far outweigh jumping from one product to another. I call them shell farmers. Of course, there could be more polite word to use, but I usually call them shell farmers. I call them shell farmers because today they are planting maize. Tomorrow you're seeing them planting tomato. Next tomorrow you're already seeing them planting cowpea. Before you know, they're already in cassava, and then they are in yam again. Those are shell farmers. They don't usually have a future most of the time. They eventually get overworked, tired, and they crash out. But then people that actually make the wave in this thing, and people that knows why they've started, they could focus on only planting as a product and see it to the end. Some of them will choose cashew as the only product and focus it to the end. Some of them will choose cocoa as the only product. Some of them will even now decide to mix crop up. They will say they want to do cocoa and plantain, and then you see them focus on only those two things for 30 years. Some of them that want to do oil palm and plantain, you see them focus on it for 30 years. Some will say it's oil palm and pineapple, focus for 20 years, and those are the people that actually make the wave in this line of business. And so you need to understand that those approaches are part of the things that determine the overall success that you may have, as opposed to doing jack of all trades. Now, for that, I've touched down every topic. Now, how does Dufma help in all of these things? As I said, we work alongside with you step by step to ensure that we're able to do so much with and for you. With that stated, that is the summary of all I've come to say, right? Normally, if there are questions, of course, we will give room for them to be asked. If there are questions from online as well, we would advise that it is placed in the comment section and we can address it as well for LinkedIn. And as I said, if you are looking out for the recording, you can always go to our website and you will be happy to see it there. I will be sharing the websites on the screen shortly. so that a recording of the website can be put into retrospect and people can know what it looks like. So that's, I don't know what a website looks like. Also, I wasn't even sure if it was the website I was going to or not. We are putting up a version of it online so that those that are going to watch the video in recording can eventually decide that okay, this is what the website looks like. I now know what it looks like. So we are putting that on so that everybody can get to see that and see the website where they can get an archive version of our recorded webinars. The learn never stops, right? It never stops. It's just really a choice that a lot of people make whether or not to keep learning or to stop at learning, which is very important to always keep learning because whoever keeps learning is well informed. You're well informed, the power is in your hand. Of course, as I said, you watch the video solution back, you'll be able to see what our webinar looks like, all the archives you need to get to learn better. So I want to say thank you to everyone that has joined our LinkedIn session, everyone that have joined our WhatsApp forum. As I said, over 60 people had graced us with their presence in the first 3 days. And even looking at the last day already, we're certain that we would have even eclipsed almost 80 to 90 people in total attendance. And it is beautiful to have everyone present with us. So I've learned one day or the other to see how they could literally improve their prospects in farming. This year, I can promise you, will be a better year for food farmers than last year was, because last year was a bit tight for many, but this year would have much more prospects than last year. So with that said, I will allow Olaoluwa to literally pick up, to largely pick up the question and answer parts and then wrap up the whole thing. Before I give to Olaoluwa, we have two audience that joined us while I was speaking. I wasn't able to introduce them. Mr. Ruben Adebayo joined us and Mr. Ikena joined us as well on the WhatsApp group. As I said, if you are on the LinkedIn, of course, you can always introduce yourself in the comment section, and we'll be happy to acknowledge your presence as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Olaoluwa, even as a wrap up.
All right. Thank you for everything and the knowledge that you have been passing for 54 minutes now or thereabouts. And we are approaching the end of today's webinar. And just like Mr. Lee mentioned, I'm not sure. I'm trying to look through the LinkedIn, but I can't find any question now. But if you're on the WhatsApp call, please, you can ask your questions and they will duly be read out, or you can maybe unmute your mics and
Yes.
ask the questions that you would like to ask. So, in wrapping up, I just want to say one or two things as regards what what I've been able to learn so far from today's webinar. It says, "Hello to a sustainable future that guarantees growth and success with Dufma." And talk, while Mr. Lee was talking, he made mention of practical strategies for sustainable growth. And then he mentioned not flaunting anything that we are doing. I mean, not trying to show off or trying to make people know or see that you have more than you actually do. And then he mentioned, understand that everyone is out there to rip you out. It's not actually an understatement. It's something that is evident, even not just in the agricultural space, but everywhere. And looking for the right means and the right measure by which you can invest, or maybe place that you can pitch your tent, like with that. Is it professional expert, people that can help you in your management, or people that can help you in catering to your agricultural needs? And you have to be vigilant as regards those kind of people, because there are not levels to this thing. There are people that when they rip you off, they will rip you off completely. Let me use that word. And there are some that maybe just to an extent that you won't be able to maybe get up on your feet. You still be able to get up on your feet, but then it will just be the barest minimum to what you have been able to achieve in the past. And there are some that, like Mr. Lee mentioned, that you are gaining from, and also they are adding value to you. So it's something that you need to pay attention to. I know that we've been able to learn like higher, and some of what I just mentioned now are the things that I was able to describe in my notes here. Also read out to some people or some of us that missed out on that particular point. So let me do well by thanking everyone once again for being here today. It was such a great privilege and honor to have you here, and this wouldn't have been possible without your presence. I'm saying that we might not have recorded the number that we anticipated in terms of audience, but then it was still what I'm sure that it was still worth a while, and it was worth our own while also because, like Mr. Lee mentioned, this webinar is not something that we do so often. So we just kickstarted this particular series 4 days ago at the beginning of the month, and that is just in a bid to help educate our audience, people that they've been asking, like, where is Dufma, where is Dufma? Or maybe trying to, those who have been saying our group has been silent. So we wanted to engage you all. And now that even the rainy season is here, so some might even be having doubt as regards if they should go into farming this period. But then if there's an agricultural community that you're part of in Dufma and they're not giving you those valuable insights and knowledge that you need, that will avail you the opportunity to yield the best or the better output or results that you would love to, then it just seems like we are just there and we are not doing anything to help out. So that's why we actually did this webinar just for the sake of our audience and the agricultural community. So it's so good to have you out here once again. And I know we know that Saturday was for many is a resting period, a relaxation day where many can just sit back and relax after the week's long activities or work. And for some, like us now, we are still engaged at work or doing one or two things, trying to put things in order, anticipating the oncoming week. But then it's so good that you're able to sacrifice 1 hour of your time to be here. So in the absence of questions, as it may seem right now, um, we we are keeping to time because it's just rounding off towards that 1 hour period. So once again, thank you so much for availing yourself the opportunity to be here, and we do not take it for granted. I'd love to wish every one of us a happy weekend, and hopefully we'll do this once again in another time. Bye, everyone. And Mr. Lee, would you like to say bye bye to everyone?
Yes, yes. I would like to say that the recording of this whole event will be available. So, and all the previous days are also available on our website. I'm currently sharing a screenshot or a live page of our website for the webinars, dofma.ng/webinars. You can see all archive of all our webinars there. You can watch it, you can listen to it, it's your choice. There are some audios, there are videos there, it's your choice. And just so you can learn and be edified in being better. Everything we say is based on what we do, right? And each time you get to learn from us, I'm certain you get to learn something new as we keep learning something new as well in our activities. It's, as I say, it's 9 years down the rain, down the rail line, and it's been full of all manner of beautiful tales and challenging tales. I won't lie, and that's why we know that it is possible to make certain returns in the first year, and we know it is possible, but we always tell you what it takes to achieve it. We don't tell you it is done blindly. We tell you what it takes to achieve it, and that's the truth. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful day. Bye. Mr. Olaolu, hope you're good. Hello? Olaolu, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah, interesting. Uh, how will I even call the English chef? Um, thank you so much for your time. It's been a very very long one. I do hope you're doing good. Um, we'll be fine, right? I think yesterday I didn't know I was going to even handle the OVG slash thing. If I had not streamed it, yeah, if I had not streamed it, if I had not streamed the video, I don't even know if I would have been able to meet up with this whole session. I don't even know. Yes. If I had not streamed it, I wouldn't know if I was going to be able to meet up with the session at all. But of course, we met we did what we could do as much as possible. The marketing as well, it is well. But the next webinar apparently we'll start prepare for it. Next week is for DevSA, and I've started charging Bobo to come up with this topic early, so we can have a week to promote that that topic. By Tuesday, we should be able to send new invites to people. So I'm looking at we'll just do only one webinar next Saturday, and then I think we should just limit to one webinar so we can have adequate time to invite people into it. You grab. That's one. Two, it also gives us time to do a lot of WhatsApp talking, but we don't want to just how will I call it? Do go to WhatsApp and drop just marketing content. It doesn't work that way. So Monday now we'll be launching our 100-acre free farmland lease. So that campaign is what we'll run from Monday through to Wednesday, Thursday, and in that campaign is how we would invite people to DevSA's activities. So what I want you to do is over this weekend think about strategies, right, that could be used as much as possible, and then by Monday let us speak intelligently about way forward. That's one. Two, you guys have literally stopped dropping your target orientation on the WhatsApp group. That's checking and the rest. I guess that's what is properly or that is used. I saw it, but I decided to watch and see for how long it will continue. Whether will it be till the end of the program or will it be even after? But I felt like if it happens on Monday, I will be too furious and I won't want to speak out of tone. I don't like speaking out of character. I like speaking within character limits so that it doesn't look like I'm just being unreasonable. While I may understand that a lot of activities are going on simultaneously, right? I think if there's a need to pause the activity, it should have been a consensus agreement. Oh, sir, during this period, can we take a break from leaving targets like this till after the program? Oh, why? Oh, yes, we think it's going to take ABC in line of new marketing and everything. Oh, no problem. We could actually pause it. That is more. That's an effective communication. Or don't you think that, Olaoluwa? Are you there? Hello? Am I speaking to myself?
In doing a lot of trying to market and doing some other things regarding this.